What's going on, everybody? It's Ricky with Video Homicide, back with another movie review / recommendation. Today we're going to go back to the year 1970 to take a look at a film directed by Peter Sasti, and that film is none other than the fifth installment in the Hammer Dracula franchise. We've got Taste the Blood of Dracula. This movie's pretty fucking goddamn good, I can't lie. So basically, I'd made the review for Dracula Has Risen from the Grave, and the homie Danny B from the Trash Dash left a comment saying, hey, you know, the next one you're gonna dig it. So I watched it, man, and I did. I fucking thoroughly enjoyed this film. I even took notes, okay, like a good neighbor. I almost said like a good neighbor. State Farm is there. I've been smoking a little hash tonight, so you know I got Dracula on one hand, and I got hash pipe in the other. Taste the Blood of Dracula's Castle. Basically, it starts off with these three like people in this carriage. One of them is actually the father from Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, the father of the greedy little girl. He plays this guy who like is some sort of snake oil salesman type, and he ends up getting kicked off of the carriage that he's riding on, and he stumbles upon like the basic the bottom of Dracula's castle, where Dracula had passed away in the last installment, whereas he fell on the fucking cross. So he almost has like a flashback where he sees Dracula die on the cross, and he sees his robe fall and his ring and all of his garments and stuff, and his blood turns to powder. So we don't see him gather it up really, but he gathers up all these items and takes the blood, and then he's sort of forgotten about for a little bit. Then we get introduced to our real three characters, which are these three rich types that are going to a fucking like a whorehouse. Chick dancing around with a giant snake. It's out of control, but these guys are basically the types where they're trying to, like, you know, almost like Uncle Frank from fucking Hellraiser, how he's sort of trying to find like the next level of enjoyment. Like, they're bored of like going to the whorehouse and this and that, and so basically they end up getting one of their main hoes taken from them by this young guy, and they basically invite him out for dinner, and he says, listen, I can show you guys some next level shit, but it's gonna cost you some money. So he takes these three old geezers to the fucking father of the Willy Wonka chick, and they buy all the Dracula stuff, and they go to Dracula's castle, and they end up doing all these fucking rituals and stuff. And the way that Dracula's brought back in this one, I thought was really fucking cool. So basically what happens is this ghoul, this servant of Dracula, who we find out is a servant of Dracula in a bit, he basically pours a little bit of the powdered blood in each one of these guys' drinks, and then he cuts his hand, and then he puts a drop of his blood, and then they like fill up, overflow, and you know, basically what they have to do is drink this blood in order to bring back Dracula. So what happens is the servant drinks this fucking this concoction, starts convulsing, and then they all proceed to kick the shit out of him until he's dead. And you know, his body lays there, and then it, like, you know, there's some fog and some bullshit, and he turns to ash, and then all of a sudden, boom, Christopher Lee is exposed, and he's basically out to get revenge on his servant. He's got these three guys to kill, and it's kind of cool how he decides to take them out. So the one of the three, the reason I laugh is because the way I worded this, the main guy of the three, you know, Uncle Frank Hellraiser types, he starts boozing heavily, right? And he's very sort of like borderline creepy with his daughter at one point or another. But basically, his daughter is the first that's turned by Dracula, and then you know, he uses the children of these three assholes that fucked him over, or fucked his servant over, in order to get to them, and kills them one at a time. There's some decent bloodshed in this film. Sorry, I'm just trying to read my notes here. I don't want to leave anything. Oh, the main asshole drunkard, fucking sexual fucking predator type guy, his daughter ends up hitting him in the head with a shovel and cracks his head wide open, and he dies. You know, one thing about this film, like, it all ends up at the church again, and you know, there's a bunch of crosses and stuff. You know, and Dracula's basically being stopped by this, you know, the boyfriend of the one girl. Like, he's sort of a forgettable guy, whatever. His name's Pole, though. They're all fucking named Pole in all these Hammer horror films, I noticed, man. But basically Dracula dies because he's blocked and he can't leave this church area because there's a cross on the door and there's a cross like on the stained glass window, and he just basically dies like that because of like a bunch of candles light all of a sudden, and then there's some prayer noise in the background and he dies. Like, lamest death yet. Like, honestly, when I look back on like when he falls into the water, like when the ground breaks and it falls into the water, like that is better than this one. It was just sort of like it was more abrupt than part one. Good film. And it looked good, and like Christopher Lee looked great. Got some good blood and stuff. I liked all the banter with these guys, these assholes, and like it was a good time. It was definitely not my favorite, but it's probably my it's got to be my favorite way that Dracula comes back in these films so far. Like the close second is, I believe, in Brides of Dracula, when that guy like hangs Buddy and fucking drops his blood on Dracula's ashes. That was a good bring back. But no, this was a good one, man. I'm so glad that I'm watching all these Hammer flicks, because I forgot how good they were. Like this one right here, like I have under the name of Blood of Dracula's Castle. Now, what I think happened, unless there's a film that's actually called Blood of Dracula's Castle, I think the old man might have got the fucking the title wrong on this, or maybe it was billed wrong wherever he taped it from. But yeah, this was a good one. Once again, Christopher Lee does not disappoint, other than the way he dies in this film. Now, I've been warned by Trash Dash that the next one we get some bats. Finally, I fucking love vampire bats, and I'm looking forward to seeing what happens. I sort of have a vague inclination of how he comes back by way of looking shit up on the internet. I didn't like look at the whole plot. I just sort of, when I was going through these films and just trying to get my shit together, because like this is a big, like, daunting thing. Like, to watch 9 films is like, mind you, I watched 8 fucking Harry Potter films with my wife over the last like month. But like, this to me is like, it's an educational thing. Like, when I watch Harry Potter, I'm just watching it because I'm like, whatever. This to me is horror history, and it's something that I'm very passionate about. And like, to sit down, watch these at an age now where I can actually appreciate them in their full, and document my thoughts by way of these fucking YouTube videos. So I appreciate everybody for watching. Make sure you leave a 666 in the comments. And the next installment, I believe, is called Scars of Dracula, which I don't think that I own at all. So we'll be checking that one out by way of the interwebs. So adios.